What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. This is our live AMA on a special Friday night, late night edition. Apologies, we were supposed to do the AMA last night, as a lot of you know. I've been on a bit of a family vacation, but we just got back after a long day of traveling, and I want to make sure that we got this out. Again, to stick with our schedule and to give a bunch of updates, as a lot of you have been asking. So, no more bathroom AMAs from Disney. Now we're back and ready to continue to continue building here at EMP. So we never stop. Again, we have an amazing team now. I'm joined by LA tonight. Bull is a bit busy. I don't know if he'll be joining maybe a little bit later. But LA, how are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm glad we're able to get on for a late night one. And for those of you who are able to join us, welcome, welcome.
Yes, 100%. This can be our new EMP After Dark, right? So, at least for us here in the US. I know a lot of you listen to this all over the world. And so, yeah, if it is an off time for you, please feel free to share this recording so everybody is up to date. We have a lot to go over as usual, and then we'll be back on our normal schedule Mondays and Thursdays at 6:45 p.m. Eastern for the next foreseeable future. So, all right, all that being said, let's jump right in. We're going to give some eShare emissions updates, as well as a Level X update, and some other things. I know, LA, you have some questions that we've assembled as well, so feel free to interrupt me at any time to elaborate more. And if any of you that are tuning in have questions, please feel free to write them on the YouTube channel. It's easier for me to see them on YouTube, so that we don't miss out on them. So, all right. The number one thing is the eShare emissions update. So we started this process literally the beginning of this week. However, in the final hours, Jake, our lead developer, and again, I'm hoping to get him on as well more often to keep you guys in the loop on all the development progress and everything we're doing with what we're calling EMP Fusion as well. So, but anyway, that being said, he's been just really, nose to the grindstone trying to get this out. And the final hours of the migration earlier this week, before we moved the majority of the LP over, we actually figured out a better way of doing this because a lot of you have been nervous, you didn't know what to do. We wanted to get rid of a lot of the human error, so to speak, where, not only is it easier for everybody involved, but it's also less potential exploits or fluctuation in price. So we finally have everything ready to roll. Again, emission schedule is still intact. So, and the bonus is by doing it this way, all of you that have been missing rewards, again, I know that we had a gap in the emissions, we will be able to account for that. So, all things go according to plan, you will actually get credit for the eShare rewards that you should have been receiving while there was a gap in rewards over this last week. So again, it's super bullish. This was a much better way of doing it, and we made the decision at the last minute to go this route again because we didn't want the gap to be too long, and the longer the gap became, we thought it was really important that we reward all of you for continuing to be in the farms and all the other pools that emit rewards. So, all that being said, I'll go into each one individually here as well, but that's a high level overview. The entire process, including the full migration and actually getting airdropped your new eShare tokens, should be about another 3 days. So, hopefully by Monday, we'll be 100% done and have all this behind us, and then we can move forward. So, again, super. It's great that we're able to still honor the rewards. We will be airdropping them to you, or having a boosted reward pool for the first few days to make up the difference in what you did not get. So again, we'll have a full Medium article. I'll do another breakdown on these AMAs once all the information is 100% set in stone. But as of right now, everything is looking really good, and I just again appreciate your patience while we get through this. So, as always, the top priority is safety of the community, and so again, we may take a little bit longer. Or have to do things a little bit differently, but if that ensures that there's no exploits, that things are safe and secure, then we have to do that. I mean, we again, the safety not only of the community but of the price is all paramount to what we're doing. So again, appreciate everybody's patience as we move forward. So LA, that was a high level overview. I know we have some questions about emissions, but anything you wanted me to elaborate on as far as that?
I would say everyone on this call knows the answer to this, but for a lot of questions that we've been getting in the group from people who haven't been around in a while who might listen to this recording, can you give us a 30 seconds or less answer to this question? Why does there need to be a V2?
Perfect. Yes, absolutely. And I do want to elaborate on a few other things as well. So, again, so let's back up all the way. Typically, with seigniorage protocols, again, we are a fork of Tomb, and all these seigniorage protocols have a 1 year initial emission schedule. And so we planned for this in the beginning with the lower supply of eShare overall, but we obviously can't predict the future, and we didn't want to have to rewrite code that we would potentially never need by extending emissions. So, because of the success that we've had as a protocol and building for something revolutionary with fusion that's coming in the next few months, that really created the need to extend emissions. So we can't alter the original eShare code in terms of the emission schedule, and that's again, as a safety measure that we're not just able to print as much eShare as we want to. Again, the contracts are not renounced, but they are immutable. I mean, that's why we're in crypto to begin with. So, unfortunately, that means that we had to do a migration. So, again, we planned for this, but we didn't want to spend unnecessary time altering the initial code, and knew that we would just do a V2, so to speak, if we need to, and now we need to. So the new plan again is having a new eShare token that will emit at the same schedule for the next year, which still puts the total circulating supply, total supply of eShare at about 2/3 of even the most conservative seigniorage protocol. Again, usually there's between 75,000 and 100,000 eShare or share token, whatever that share token may be, or reward token. The current eShare is only 28,000. So again, we planned for this in the beginning. It's 1/3, knowing that if we needed to extend emissions for another 2 or 3 years, we could. And so the new model that we had that we've talked about, but I'll just reiterate, is a happening model. So after this migration, the next year will be another 28,000 eShares produced, but then every subsequent year will be cut in half. So just like Bitcoin, there will be a halving of the supply every year, and even after the next 7 years or 10 years, there is still much less eShare or share token in existence than there would have been compared to other seigniorage protocols. And again, as long as we have the demand to meet any potential inflation, again through eShare or EMP, that is when price still goes up, because I think the only concern is that we release more eShare and that further reduces the price. But again, through all the use cases that we built, Reactor being the main one, and then a ton of stuff coming with Fusion, EMP Fusion, that will soak up all of the potential inflation over the next few years, and that's when we see Eshare, get back to the all-time highs that we've seen over the last year to begin with. So again, and when you get back to peg, that's when eShare really gets its value, regardless of how many eShare are in circulation. So I hope that all helps. That again is the high level overview of why we have to do a version 2. And again, unfortunately, it's a bit of a pain in the ass, and I know that it can be frustrating, but once this is done, then we won't have to do it ever again. So, and even if we decided to, cut eShare emissions after Fusion is up and running, which I'm not saying we will, I'm just giving a hypothetical, with the new code, we can stop emissions at any time. So this new code is a lot more modular, and we'll never have to go through this again. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So, yeah, does that help, LA? I know I wanted to definitely go over all that.
Yeah, that was perfect.
All right, amazing. So, all right, then we're gonna get into some questions that a lot of you have had, and if there's any additional questions that spark from what I'm about to go over, please feel free to ask in the YouTube chat. So, the first question is, what about Sentinel NFTs that haven't claimed rewards yet? During the migration process, what will happen to that eShare? So yeah, that's an amazing question. We will have, although we're going to have the majority of the eShare process, the eShare migration process automated, we will have an option to actually swap, I guess, for lack of a better word, old eShare to new eShare. Now, again, just to minimize any potential exploit, that will probably be done a bit manually, which again is more work for Jake, myself, and the team, but I think that we'll see a very small edge case of that. So off the top of my head, any old Sentinel rewards that have not been claimed, you will just get version 1 as liquid eShare, and then you can choose to swap that for version 2. However, Jake might be able to do that automatically as well, because what happens is those rewards are given to that pool. So moving forward, 100% it will be eShare version 2. So you won't have to worry about that. But I think the root of this question is, again, what if there are rewards that have not been claimed? Because again, if there's an NFT on the market, those rewards are just sitting there accumulating. So very, very good question. And again, hopefully that answered it. Unfortunately, there's still a little bit of gray area with that particularly, but I'm assuming that you would just be able to swap from V1 to V2. And that really gets into the other stuff too, because there will be other edge cases like some of the farms, Beefy or Magic, which we'll talk about too in a minute. Those farms we've really talked a lot about this internally, and I think that we're going to try to transition away from the Beefy and Yield Wolf farms and really encourage the Magic and Dex vaults. So that being said, you also need to unpair those LPs and then submit to get the new V2 with that liquid eShare. So does that help, LA? I know sometimes I have a hard time explaining it. I try to make it as simple as I can, but this is very complex. So yeah.
So just to follow up on that question, if they have unclaimed rewards with their Sentinels, is it a good idea for them to go ahead and claim them right now?
Yes, great point. So yeah, if any of you do have a lot on the market that you've been trying to sell, or they're sitting there, I would say yeah, I would definitely claim any of the pending Sentinel rewards you may have. That just makes it so much easier. And if not, nobody's going to lose out. We'll make sure everybody is whole. But yeah, I mean the number one way right now is to just make sure you're claiming ahead of time, and then you can swap or migrate to the new V2 manually. Because unless you're in the boardroom, and that was one of the questions, what happens to the Eshare in the boardroom. So as of right now, the boardroom and the vaults that are on the site themselves, like the farm, and obviously will be now rewarded in the new eShare token. And the boardroom will be automatically converted, and Reactor will be automatically converted. So that is still the plan. Again, Jake is in the middle of making all that happen behind the scenes, and we can give an update 100% uh, over the next 2 or 3 days. So, yeah, all right. So is that good, LA? We can move to the next question.
Yep.
All right. So yes, the next one is, can I still buy and sell eShare right now? What will that affect the migration? So yeah, great question. And this leads to another question. That yeah, I mean, as of right now, even with the migration, the buying and selling. It is what it is. Like I think people are scared, or just not aware that a migration is a sell, or has some sort of native aspect, and that's not the case. I mean, again, um, you're more than welcome to buy and sell eShare freely, and we don't foresee any potential price issues. There may be a little bit more volatility, but because we own literally almost 80% of the overall eShare BNB LP. When we convert that in Reactor, that is where the new majority of the liquidity will be. And by doing that, we protect a lot of potential issues that migrations have. Again, because if there is low liquidity, then there ends up being a lot of arbitrage opportunity. And that's just something that we're also trying to avoid moving forward. So yes, to answer the question, you can still buy and sell eShare right now. Um, once again, there'll be an announcement on our Telegram, our Discord, all of our socials that the migration is complete, and then we will give a new eShare address, token address, and then when that happens, then you only want to be buying and selling the version 2 eShare because again, on version 1 there will be no liquidity, so you have to convert or migrate your version 1 to version 2 to be able to sell it or buy it. So again, it sounds a lot more complicated than it is. And once the process is 100% done, then we can really give everybody the concrete details. So we're being a bit vague on purpose until the process is complete to avoid any potential issues. So again, I hope that helps. And yeah, I mean, just like anything else, you would only be shooting yourself in the foot if you're trying to sell eShare before the migration, unless you want to get out of the protocol or, take profit. All that is fine, but just remember that, trying to swing trade or a potential arbitrage opportunity, 9 times out of 10 ends up really badly for you. So I would just try to avoid any large selling unless you're willing to exit the protocol completely on eShare. So, all right, does that help, LA? Was that good? I keep asking you because you're the one
Yeah.
in the trenches fielding all these questions. So yeah.
No, that was yep.
All right,
Good to
awesome.
go.
All right, the next one says, what will happen with the auto vaults? So again, I already touched on this a little bit. The Beefy and the Yield Wolf auto vaults will probably be coming to an end. I mean, obviously, the LP has not been rewarding in a while now. So if you're as far as the eShare BNB LPs, we discontinued that farm like what 6 months ago, or at least 4 months ago. But the EMP ETH LPs will reward in the new eShare version. However, that requires an update from YieldWolf and Beefy. So if they don't update it on their end, then they will not receive rewards. So again, this is super important. If you take away anything from this particular AMA, I would highly, highly recommend removing your LPs and all the auto vaults on Beefy and Yield Wolf specifically, and then move that LP into Magic or into the DEX vaults, because not only will those two be the ones that we can get rewards to the quickest, because we have direct lines of communication with both those teams, and as soon as they get the new eShare token address, that's a very simple fix, but it's also the most beneficial for the protocol. So it's almost a double-edged sword where this migration will help us educate people to doing the right thing and doing what's better, not only for them, but also for the protocol as well. So there are some silver linings with a migration like this, and those that are not paying attention, or have forgotten about EMP or whatever, and aren't involved, that's less potential rewards that we have to pay out as well. So again, it's very, very beneficial, and I would highly recommend moving your auto vaults from Beefy and or Yield Wolf into Magic or Dex. And again, we can put more info out on that if people need it. But Ella, you want to elaborate on that at all? I know you and I have talked about this a lot. So
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity to encourage people to put their LPs into Dex and Magic, where both of those are helping our protocol in great ways and are great opportunities to help peg, to help the price of EMP, along with helping yourself as an individual, by investing in the auto vault. So I think it's a no-brainer.
yeah, 100%. All right, and again, we'll release more info on that as well if people are still uh, not not aware or need more help. All right. Do I have to remove? Next question. Do I have to remove liquidity on my LPs before migrating? So I'm assuming that is asking, do you have to break your LP before the migration? Or before migrating, and that the answer is yes. I mean, uh, unless you're in the reactor, again, that LP will be automatically converted, and you don't have access to that LP anyway. But if you're in uh, one of the vaults, I mean, we haven't had any of the farms or vaults have not been using the eShare BNB LP anyway. So honestly, you should have probably broken that LP a long time ago because you really need to be in the eShare single staking vault because that is where you can earn more eShare from your eShare. Um, so yeah, the overall answer is if you still have eShare BNB LP, you probably should have broken it a while ago. And again, if you're getting it from Reactor as rewards, or then obviously you would go back into Reactor. That's a different scenario. Or break it then and take profit on the BNB side and put the eShare in the single asset pool. So again, all of you should already have been kind of doing that strategy. Again, not financial advice, but in terms of yield, that was the best way to do it. So yeah, if you still have eShare BNB LP and just sitting there, then absolutely break that, and then you will be able to migrate the single eShare V1 to eShare V2. Does that help, LA? Again, I hope I'm trying not to get too in the weeds, but yeah.
Yeah, and then there's just a question, what if you're in the EMP ETH farm?
Yeah, so the EMP farm, you don't have to do anything. Again, that's EMP ETH LP, so that has nothing to do with eShare. You get eShare as the reward, but no, do not break that. Again, unless you're wanting to leave the platform. But no, I would absolutely leave all of those LPs intact, and you'll simply start getting the version 2 eShare as the reward when it's completed. So there's nothing you have to do or differently. It'll automatically switch from V1 to V2, and within a week, nobody will even remember V1 anymore. It'll just be eShare. The eShare token will be eShare V2. So yes, great clarification, LA. All right. Anything else with that?
Nope.
All right, perfect. The last one here, and then some more updates. And again, if there's more, please feel free to type in YouTube. This one is, will the eShare migration cause the cost of eShare to drop significantly because everyone is selling their V1 to get their V2? So, no, or the short answer is, if do not sell your V1 hoping to get into V2. If you sell your V1, that's just like selling your V2. So selling is selling and buying is buying regardless of what version it is. So that's why I tried to say earlier, you know, don't, unless you're wanting to leave the protocol, nobody should be selling their eShare during this process. And if you want to take profit in eShare, that's fine. But realize that once you sell it, then there is no eShare to migrate. So again, the short answer is there won't be a drop in the eShare price unless everybody starts selling eShare because they want to leave. It has nothing to do with the actual migration itself. If anything, there will be no liquidity on V1, so you would really be shooting yourself in the foot because you'd be selling eShare into no liquidity, which again you would get pennies on the dollar for eShare version 1 once that liquidity is gone. So just be very, very careful and really wait until we release the Medium article after the migration is absolutely over with. Then you can worry about migrating from V1 to V2. And then when you want to sell, you want to sell your V2 because that's where all the liquidity will be. But again, I mean, not financial advice, but if anybody should be doing anything, it's probably buying eShare, not selling it because it is, at a discounted price right now. And once we finally have EMP Fusion out, the demand on eShare should be dramatically higher. So again, not financial advice, but does that make
Yeah.
sense, Ellie? Go ahead.
Yeah, and I just want to kind of give a synopsis. And the reason why I left it worded exactly as it was, for him to read out like that, was just to exemplify the point that the migration doesn't involve like behind the scenes. Jake is not like using a swap like pancake swap or anything to swap V1 for V2 by selling it. It has nothing to do with selling V1 to buy V2. There's no selling involved, and so that's why it won't affect the price specifically from the migration. The only thing that would affect the price is if a bunch of individuals all start selling, which there's no reason to do so because the migration is no reason to sell. That's the synopsis of what all that he just said.
Perfect. Yes, absolutely. And again, if you see V1 starting to tank dramatically, that really probably only means that there is no longer any liquidity. So the worst thing you can do is then panic sell your eShare because you see the price going down or whatever from all the reporting sites. Um, that could actually hurt you even more because as long as you have your eShare, then you can migrate it to version 2. So you would much rather want to sell or buy, and again, it's a two-way street, buying as well. I mean, if you see the V1 price of eShare down, be very careful, potentially buying it because there is no liquidity at that point. So again, once all this is actually completed, then we will have a Medium article. I'll get on another AMA and say, now all the liquidity is over here. I'll give the actual eShare token address for V2, and that will help, I think, alleviate all the confusion. But we have to do this in a very specific way. We can't have, the cart before the horse, so to speak. So once that's out, then everybody, I think, will have a lot better understanding. And again, like I said, within the next 2 weeks, will forget that this process even created problem or confusion, because there will only be one Eshare with the right liquidity behind it. So and again, we also have to be careful because we don't want to release the token address before that liquidity is added either. So um, yeah, all right. Does that help, LA? I think that was really good. Again, I know it was about 30 minutes, but I think that was the best overview we've done to date. So,
Yeah, no, that was great. And so if anyone else has any eShare questions before we move on, I don't see any in the chat, but oh, the last one. I think you already covered this, but just to reiterate, there's a question asking, are the farms going to be retroactively given rewards, or are eShare rewards halted during this migration?
all right, perfect. Sorry, birdies are getting upset. It's been a long day of traveling, so yeah, bear with me on any background noise. But yes, the ultimate goal, and again, why we've taken a little bit longer than anticipated, was because Jake thinks that we can actually reward the users the emission schedule as if there was no gap in time. So if that doesn't if that ends up being not possible, then we would just have a boosted emissions pool, for a few weeks, that would make up what you would have gotten by having your LPs. So those are the two options. Again, we're hoping to have it very simple and straightforward, where you just get extra eShare based on being in that pool, and nothing changes. But the other scenario would be we'll just have a short-term boosted pool for those that have LP to be able to earn what they should have earned over the last few days. So does that answer, LA? I'm sorry if I got off topic. Was that what you were
Yes, yes.
asking? Okay, yeah.
Yes, and then there's a couple of requests in the comments for a Disney intermission.
I
they
love
wanna
it. Yeah.
they wanna know how your time at Disney with your family was.
Oh, right on, guys. Yeah, no, it was amazing. So, yeah, we're big Disney people, and yeah, it was awesome. So I appreciate all of you being patient with that. No more Disney AMAs from the bathroom, but no, it was great, and both my kids had a wonderful time, and now we're back and ready to continue rolling. Really, even on vacation, or I don't know I don't know what it's like to take a break. I know LA and I and Bull and Jake and the X-Row team, which we'll talk about here in a minute, all of us were still, grinding every day, regardless. So again, I don't get much sleep. I'm with the family all day and then working all night. But that's what I love, and that's why I'm here. And yeah, 100%. So thanks everybody for asking. It was a great time.
Awesome. What was your favorite character that you saw?
Yeah, so I love it. So I think my wife and Abel, my son, they love the Enchanted Tiki Room. So that's like our favorite ride. So yeah, we all the Tiki Birds. He loves that, and the Country Bear Jamboree. Those are like our favorite characters, even though they're not Mickey or Minnie or Donald. So yeah, they were loving that. And Birdie's still pretty young, so she was just happy to be there. She didn't know what was going on, but yeah, it was awesome.
That's amazing. Awesome.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys for asking. So, all right, let's move into what next? LA. Oh, the level X.
Level 6.
Yes, so a lot of you may have been hearing about Level X through the grapevine. We've been purposely not being too, forthcoming until the actual launch. Again, this is all pre-launch. The public launch of Level X is set for, I think we've solidified February 7th. And we are going to have a huge marketing push. I'm already scheduling a bunch of AMAs. To go over what this is and why it's so awesome. But let me back up a little bit. This is called Level X. It is a new partner token that both the Growth DeFi team and the EMP team are launching together. Growth DeFi, they really spearheaded this, so they were the ones who come up with all the game theory, but we are fully endorsing it. Um, again, not only from a code perspective, but also from a benefit standpoint. Again, Growth DeFi did approach us about this, so they are spearheading it, but we're doing everything we can to support them in it. And yeah, I mean the overall game theory is it's a rebase token, and a lot of people are like, oh, rebase, what? Like the gasps in the background, right? No, but they've really solved any potential issues that a lot of rebase tokens have. And again, when inflation gets out of control, then that's when rewards become too much, and then everybody dumps to oblivion. However, you're able to burn your level X token to gain a level, and the higher level that you have, just like in a video game, you can level up your character. The higher level that you have, the more potential rewards you get from it. So there could be a situation where the rewards are so lucrative at higher levels that you are incentivized to burn your level X to gain levels, and that could actually make it a rebase token that becomes deflationary, which again would be unheard of. So I really like the game theory behind it, and the number one reason that we have endorsed this and partnered with them on it is that it is so beneficial to EMP. Again, please read the white paper. We'll post it and join their Telegram. But through the taxes, there are some pretty heavy taxes going in and out, so that's another potential, thing you need to be aware of. But the it puts a direct buying pressure on both EMP and XRO as well. So, and just from the initial seed round, we've had over $9,000 of buying pressure on EMP from that. So just imagine, when this is up and rolling and growing and we are advertising it, it could be a substantial amount of buying pressure on EMP. So there are still about 8 million tokens left in the seed round. Again, that is the best price you're going to be able to get them at. We'll post the link to the website for those of you that want to get it. And then they will be launching publicly with about $200,000 of liquidity. So on the February 7th. So and we will be doing again an AMA round. I think what LA we have about 6 AMAs scheduled so far.
Yeah, and there's a couple more getting scheduled right now. So we are gonna have Ghost on our AMA on Monday, so he'll tell us even more about it on Monday. But we've got all of our favorite influencers that we're going to be on with next week with both AJ and Ghost, so it'll be awesome.
Perfect. So yeah, and again, there's only about last I looked, like I said, about 6 or 8 million tokens left on the seed round, and that's less than 70 grand. So once that's gone, it's gone. And with this token, unlike a lot of other tokens, and more like EMP and Xgrow itself, the economic theory with level X is that it becomes much more lucrative to actually hold it and get yield from it than selling it. So that alone, again, should really help any potential, dumping right off the bat. Because usually the way it goes is you have a seed round, then you have a public launch, and sometimes there's a dip, right after launch. So that could still happen, but I think with the way that the game theory is set up, we could potentially see, a very substantial upward, up and to the right trajectory because people will be burning level X to up their levels. And again, I'll go over all that with the Ghost on Monday, the actual strategies and game theory behind it, because he is the mastermind behind the actual gamification. But again, I'm really I really like it. I mean, typically, and I would say this to Ghost, directly, and I've been public about this, is that I'm not a fan of rebase tokens. I think that they're flawed as a core mechanism. However, with what they've done to this and what we've helped them, accomplish, I think that we may have solved the potential rebase issue through gamification and game theory. So I'm really really excited for it to play out, and it's a reflex token as well. So you get rewards in both EMP and XRO just for holding the token. So not only are you getting more level X from rebases, but now you're getting EMP and XRO on top of that as well. So it could be another great way for you to accumulate uh, EMP and XRO essentially for free by getting into this token. So I'm excited. And even if, again,
And
even if, oh, sorry, even if everybody sold their EMP and XRO, which obviously we don't recommend, but even if that happened, there would still be a net positive impact on the peg, because again, half of that is actually being bought and burned, or rather, we say burned, but it's set to our treasury that we don't spend it anyway, but it gives us flexibility to not actually burn it. But half of the reflect goes to the treasury to be removed from circulation as well, and we potentially the burn address or the wallet that holds a lot of the level X, that will also be getting rewards. So meaning again back to the deflationary aspect. If the burn address is getting rewards, then all the rewards it gets are also burned. So that is also super bullish. And we could see that burn address get so big that it helps curb any of the potential inflation by becoming deflationary. So yeah, all right, sorry, go ahead, LA.
oh, I was just gonna say, if you think about it, it's just ridiculous how I don't know whether it's triple or quadruple dipping that you can do with this, because you get your level X, you get your EMP, you get your X grow, you you can take your level X, you can do the VDCs, you can do the farms, and then your EMP, you already know all the things you can do with it. You can do your nodes, you can pair it up with, make it LP, put it in the farms, auto vaults, detonator, you can put it in their EMP vault, and then you have your X grow that you can put in the farms and VDCs. We're also going to have a DOS. Like, it's just kind of ridiculous how it trickles out, and there's just so many options for all of the rewards to be reinvested. And I mean, it's kind of awesome.
It is. It's yeah, no doubt, LA. It's mind-boggling. Again, not only as a potential, revenue stream and growth of your own investment through a secondary protocol, but it's also a major, major benefit to EMP and the XGROW token, which again, if any of you are in Cultivator, that will help there as well. And so yeah, I mean, it truly is a win-win-win. And a lot of stuff that we're doing now, I've said this on a previous AMA, like all the little things that we're doing now with Level X, with Dex Vaults, with our continued revenue generating investments from the Treasury, all the potential DOS residual income, the YouTube channel, the affiliate commissions, all of these things that add up, uh, eventually, again, it may be little by little, what they say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So all of these things are going to add up, and it'll happen once it finally gets to a tipping point. It'll happen fast, and that is when we start seeing peg recover and going up rather than down. And then it could be a matter of weeks after that until we're fully at peg again. And not only are we back at peg, but now we're able to maintain peg over the long run because of all these little things adding on top of each other to keep us at peg. So again, I'm super excited. And all that doesn't even include Fusion. So once Fusion is released, I think a peg recovery is inevitable. Again, not financial advice. We just have to get there. So, yeah, absolutely. All right, cool. Anything else on level X, LA? Again, I know we're gonna do a deep dive of Ghost on Monday for sure.
No, I think that was a good good overview.
Cool. All right, awesome. And yeah, there is still some tokens left. So if you're hearing this, LA put it in the YouTube chat. It's on their Growth DeFi website. And you can buy with up to I think 10 or 12 different tokens, but BUSD will give you the least amount of slippage. So if you want to buy with BUSD, that will be it. And once that's gone, it's gone. Again, there's only about 6 million tokens left. Then you'll have to buy in as a public round, and not only will public be a little bit more expensive, but you're also getting hit with additional taxes. So by getting in on the seed round, you save about half on taxes as well. So not only is it cheaper, but it's a great way to get in early. And again, we've been purposely keeping it a little bit, underhyped until everybody that hears this and has had an opportunity to get into the seed round. And then we're really going to pour gasoline on the fire once the seed round sells out. And like I said, we have multiple AMAs coming up to promote it. So, all right. That was pretty much it. I see one last question real here on YouTube, and then I have another reminder. But when will Fusion be completed? So again, the Eshare migration is number one priority right now. After that, we then focus all of our attention onto some detonator upgrades. Um, we'll give more info on that. We have a few little tweaks to Detonator and all detonators as a service that should really help with the sustainability. And then we will start scaling again. Again, we have about 6 detonator as a service partners in the queue. So that will be the next priority. And then all the while after that is 100% fusion focus. So we're hoping for the end of quarter one. Again, depending on how complex the actual build time is, hopefully it doesn't go much past that, but we will be giving info along the way. And we'll have a lot of little milestones in between where, you can start getting involved with Fusion. It won't, and again, all this is subject to change, but I don't really envision Fusion being like a hard start, like all of a sudden, boom, all right, Fusion's here, everybody in. No, it'll be over time. Again, over the next few weeks and months, we'll slowly start implementing different elements of Fusion until we have it completed. So again, I know that 2 months sounds like a long time, but it could be a lot sooner than that, and we could have a lot more of the smaller elements starting to be in play before then. So hopefully that helps uh, answer that. All right. And then, oh, the last thing, our Pillars Poker Tournament. So, LA, you want to go over that real fast? And then I'll add at the end. Go ahead.
Yeah, so on Sunday the 5th, I believe it is, it's the Pillars is a Discord group, and they're hosting an awesome poker tournament. They have some of the top minds in DeFi coming together to play at this poker tournament. We've got AJ, Danny from MDB, Jason from Up. Who else? AJ? I forget. I know James Pelton is one of them. There's a couple others. There's one. There's one free spot, and basically the tickets are a $5 NFT to come and watch this tournament play out. And basically, that gets you a ticket to the private live stream. And it's a roundtable discussion where you get to be in the room with all of these awesome team leads. And they're going to be playing poker for their protocol. And the winning team lead wins the pot for everyone who purchased NFTs for their protocol. And the winning pot will get purchased in their community's token. So it also helps peg, and it'll get distributed to everyone who purchased NFTs from their protocol at the event. Aside from that, whatever protocol has the most tickets purchased will win 10% of the total pot. And the third way to win is, out of all of the tickets sold, there'll be a random drawing, and one person will win the last seat at the table, and that person has an opportunity to win up to 25% of the pot if they win. So it's really awesome. We're currently in second place for the amount of tickets sold, and so I'll grab the link right now and post it everywhere. You can buy as many NFTs as you want, because remember, when AJ wins, that pot will get distributed evenly amongst all of the NFTs purchased from our community. And so if you've got multiple NFTs, you'll earn more of that pot, and you'll have a higher chance of getting the last seat at the table. So that's kind of an overview.
I love it, LA. Sorry, I was muted when you called on me, but yeah, you did a great job. I mean, it's a total of 9 players. I think another project is Arc. Their team lead will be there. Jason from War5 Bots and Up Finance, the same Jason that we partnered with for Up EMP. Speaking of which, Up EMP has been killing it. There's going to be another injection by tomorrow. It's been going up like 2% a week since it started. So, but anyway, yes, back to the poker tournament. We are in second place. We're about 70 tickets behind, but the NFT is only $5, so we can make up ground really fast. MDB is in the lead. We were in the lead, and then MDB came out super strong, but we can't let Danny beat us. We have to have that friendly rivalry for sure. So definitely pick up a few of them. Like LA said, not only buying one, again, $5 is nothing, especially in crypto, but buying one will get you admission to the show. Again, I use the word celebrities very lightly, but yeah, it will be the only way to watch and get a seat to the show, meaning there could be some great info and gems and Easter eggs that we all drop during this tournament, and it will not be recorded. So the only way to listen to the conversation is by having a ticket, and you want to buy multiple tickets to not only potentially win a seat to be the final man at the table, man or woman at the table, but also because, and I love your positive thinking, LA, when I win the tournament, the rewards that are distributed will be only to whoever bought these NFTs on EMP's behalf. So again, it is a specific link for EMP to give EMP credit on the NFTs themselves. And again, I think that we can get there. And the more NFTs that are bought, that's more potential prize pool that will go to buying back whatever token the person wins. So or whoever wins their protocol. So all right, great overview. So And I think we had a special guest, Vino, had his hand up. So, Vino, what's up, brother? You want to add something to the end here before we wrap it up? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I was just going to comment on Level X, but real quick, I did want to touch on the Pillars Poker Tournament. You guys really nailed it. It's only $5 per NFT. So, and I've said it in a couple of chats, but if you go to Starbucks every single day and you go get a $5 coffee, just sacrifice that for a week, mint yourself 5 NFTs, and if we mint out the most NFTs, we get 10% of the prize pool, which is an automatic win for the protocol and ourselves. So that's just something to consider.
For sure. No, great point, Vino. And again, we'll keep a close eye. I'm sure people are waiting till the end as well, just being sneaky on really going heavy. But I think that we can get there, and I know that we have the best community in crypto, so we don't want MDB out showing up and not EMP showing up. So absolutely, we'll get there, man. And LA did just post the link on YouTube, and again, we'll post it in Discord and Telegram and all of our socials. It's already there in the pinned, but if you don't have it, feel free to ask for it as well when you're ready. So, yeah, awesome, Vino. And what else, brother? Was there one more thing? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. It was just about Level X. I'm not too big of a rebase token person, and I think I've said that a couple times in a couple different chats. But I really think that what you guys have with Growth DeFi and their Level X token, I think this is something that a lot of people will really make some good gains from, not only from rebases but reflections. And I actually sent Ghost a DM in regards to the burn address and a couple ideas. And there's a scenario where over time, the majority of the inflation goes to essentially the DOS contract as well as the burn address. And it becomes almost a situation. I know they're totally different, but I like to think of it like this. It becomes a situation like Hex, where the OA, in this case, the burn address or the DOS, owns the majority of the liquidity or the rebase, yet it still pays out very well with a low inflation supply due to the amount of inflation that's controlled by a couple good acting whales. And I think that a lot of people may be sleeping on that because of the word rebase, but I see some really good potential in the future with this token and what it's going to be built out to be. Because, Richard Hart, he says he doesn't own the OA, but you can speculate all you want, and all that. But the OA owns about 80 to 90% of all liquid Hex, and that's how the stakers of Hex get 38% APY with only an inflation rate of 3.68%. So I think that this token has the same potential.
I love it, Vino. Man, what a great comparison. And yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. I know a lot of us, me included, have had some great success with Hex. And yes, even though they're completely different, those same, core mechanisms are absolutely true, especially when you tie in the detonator as a service. Again, they will be having a detonator right out of the gate. It may be a few weeks before we're able to get it up and running, but it will be sooner than later. And that alone, not only is there, like you said, the dead wallet or the burn address, but the actual LPs collected in their detonator as a service, those are eligible for rebates and rewards. And we're able to actually not only control any of the runaway inflation, but we're actually able to use those rewards to then bolster the pool. Just everything that we have been trying to do through rehypothecation in our own DOS contracts, we just haven't been able to because we don't want to dilute people further. Once we are recovered, or more so recovered with PEG, we will be able to do that. And that alone, again, I've said this many times, but that alone will help Daily Burst tremendously. But we'll be able to do that right out the gate on the Detonator as a service for Level X. So again, there's just so many differences, and it's funny you say that because I even had a conversation with Ghost. I said, can we not call this a rebase because I think people are just so turned off, by what they've seen in a rebase token. But we're about full transparency, and we want to be, give everybody the facts, and then they can make their own decisions on getting in or not. So it is a rebase. I mean, that is what it is. However, the game theory and all the mechanisms that the VNO just outlined is super, super different. And again, we would not be getting behind anything that we weren't fairly confident in. And again, that's not financial advice. The token could go to zero. That's just the risk that you take in crypto. But there's a lot of things stacking up in favor of Level X. And on top of all of that, even if it is a shit show, and the people dump Level X and the token, doesn't do well, that means there's still a ton of buying pressure on EMP and XRO because of that. So even in a worst case scenario, EMP still and XRO, their native asset, both of those are helped out tremendously from this. So that's why I'm just so bullish, no matter how you look at it. Again, everybody, please do your own research and never get into a token that you're not comfortable with. Obviously, you shouldn't be taking advice from me or from any YouTuber or anything you hear. You should listen to what we have to say and then make your own decision based on, deductive reasoning. But again, I really see a ton of upside potential in not only Level X, but what it does for both protocols as well. So yeah, thanks, Vino. I really appreciate you jumping on because yeah, the comparison to Hex is 100% a great analogy. So all right, anything else, brother? Was that it?
No, that was it. But I would just add on as well, just to solidify your point. I think volume and volatility also go a long way, just because that does drive volume to purchase EMP as well as XGrow. So I think it's wins all around, and I think people do have a bad taste of rebase, but once they see how this token plays out, from my perspective, what I believe, I think that some people could change their mind.
Totally, brother. No, I agree 100%. And again, I know, I think the last rebase that a lot of people really were scared over and what ended up being a nightmare was liquid capital. And so, obviously that didn't go well. That was because it never launched and the team was shady and had a bunch of bad actors. But even then, we still got 75% refund, which is unheard of. But my point to that is, I can unequivocally, oh my god, I can't talk. I can pretty much guarantee that that is not going to happen in Level X because we are part of the multi-sig. So any of the large holdings as far as being able to, dump on everybody's heads from what the initial mint is, that is held in a multi-sig. So myself, as well as one other team member from EMP, and the two from XRO, there has to be a total of 3 signatures to make sure that it goes through. So again, there's also many things in place to help protect the community as well, and we'll talk about that on Monday with Ghost. But there is a multi-sig for the large holding address, and we'll not get in a situation that we got into with liquid capital. We've done a lot more due diligence, and again, we're excited for what happens. So, all right. On that note, then I think we're gonna wrap it up. LA, was there anything else?
I think that was an awesome AMA. We got some really great information into a jam-packed one here. So I think that's a great place to end.
Perfect. Yes, and again, thank you all for allowing me to spend time with the family. It was a much needed break, and now we're back at it. We're not going anywhere. I'll be 100% available, and we'll be back on schedule with our AMAs. We have again a lot coming as well, so I'll keep you all up to date as we go. Right now, the number one priority is the Eshare migration. Once that is completed, then we have a lot more building to do as well. So give us about between 2 and 3 more days, and the migration should be complete, and then we can move past all of that. And then Detonator as a service and Fusion are going to be up next. I mean, we have a busy next few months here at EMP, and typically that also translates into positive positive things for the overall ecosystem. So and the markets are looking good too. Again, everything starting to come together. So all right. We will see you all on Monday for the next update. Again, LA, thanks for being here. Any final words, LA? I know I usually give it to Bull, but Bull has been busy today as well, so he'll be back for the Monday AMA. But go ahead, LA. Any final words?
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
All I can think of, all I can think of is what my grandpa used to always say: "A pleasant smile makes a pleasant day."
I love
So,
it.
so go out there and smile at someone.
Perfect. Sounds like a very smart man. So I agree, 100%. So, all right, awesome, LA. So yeah, everybody have a great weekend. Again, we'll be giving updates in Discord and Telegram, and we'll be back on Monday with Ghost from Level X with a special AMA with him, and hopefully the announcement that our Eshare migration is now complete. So, all right. Good night.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Good night. Good day. We'll see you on Monday. Bye bye.